What better color for Valentine's Day than, well, red and big red, as we welcome you to Bowling Green, Kentucky, for tonight's matchup here on CBS Sports Network on Facebook Watch between Middle Tennessee and the Hilltoppers. Conference USA standings in the last weekend before the bonus play will be picked out. It's a race for the top 5 at the top tier of Conference USA, and Western Kentucky certainly getting towards the top, winners of 7 of the last 8. Hey folks, how are you? Jason Horowitz, happy to have you with us here inside Diddle Arena here on Facebook Watch. Let's tell you how you can interact with us throughout the course of this ball game, because there's a lot you can do. First of all, you can join the discussion, right? Comment on the game, comment on all the topics, and give us your thoughts. Hashtag MT versus WKU in your posts. Maybe your Facebook and Instagram photos could be part of the broadcast here. And make sure you swipe right. If you want to remove the comments, just watch the game regularly. Swipe right and remove the comments. All right, Melanie Collins is going to join us in just a moment alongside Tim Doyle, Jason Horowitz. Happy Valentine's Day. You as well. You look very dapper, my friend.
Oh, you always look sensational.
Worst dressed play-by-play guy on CBS.
That's guaranteed. I actually tweeted out best dressed out there, and Melanie Collins is going to be here as well. And definitely chime in, use the hashtag. This is an excellent game. You got two teams trending in the right direction. Western Kentucky's won 4 straight. As for Middle Tennessee, a rough start, but they've won 3 of 4.
Yeah, we'll get to that rough start in just a moment. But the story, at least for this one, news-wise, Rick Stansbury, head coach at Western Kentucky, was out last week with a back injury. He's going to have surgery tomorrow. So for the 3rd straight game, Mark Shue is filling in as the interim coach. Before the Rice game last Thursday, he hadn't called a timeout in 12 years since he was at prep school in North Carolina. So that's a different story. But you know what he knows that everybody on that bench knows? Get the ball to one of the best players in Conference USA.
Yeah, only a freshman. He's been a double-double machine. Charles Bassey has been 12 of them on the season. He's got long arms. I love his explosiveness as far as offensive rebounding and blocking shots. And on the biggest of stage, this big man, who already looks like an NBA player, has shined under the brightest lights.
And he's going to be. It's just a matter of when. Now, you mentioned 4 straight wins. They have won 7 of 8 after a 1-3 conference start to get towards the Conference USA. It's not a very deep team. A lot from the starters, and during this 8-game stretch, all of them averaging in double figures. You want to average in double figures? How about the star from Middle Tennessee? He's a transfer, but Antonio Green's one of the best shooters in college basketball.
And he has in the gym range. Right when he gets over half court, he is a threat. Jason, he's hoisting up nearly 10 threes a game, and certainly he can get hot. He's already broken the record for most threes attempted in a season. I think he's going to break the record as far as threes made, and he is an explosive scorer.
He might do that tonight. Meanwhile, Donovan Sims is a guy who a couple weeks ago really started picking up not just his scoring, but his willingness to take shots, and it's why they've won 3 of 4.
He only averaged 1 point a game last year. The former walk-on is really coming to his own. I'll say this, when Donovan Sims plays well and he's leading this squad, Middle Tennessee is a completely different team.
Now, they had lost 13 in a row, and they were 3-14. They had a very difficult non-conference. It hurt some of their confidence. They'd replaced a whole bunch of guys from last year, but they had to change. They have, and they have won 5 of 8 down the stretch, which is important as they're going to head and take a look towards Conference USA tournament. Meanwhile, 3rd member of our team, Melanie Collins, she caught up earlier with Jared Savage from Western Kentucky.
Jared, your head coach, Rick Stansbury, has missed the last 2 games due to a back injury. He will miss the game tonight as he gets set for surgery tomorrow. What has been the mentality of this team in his absence? Because you guys pulled out 2 huge road wins without him.
Yeah, it's just next man up, really. I mean, Coach Shue's done a great job stepping up and filling in his place, and all the coaches have taken another step up, and they've been good for us.
What do you feel like you've learned about this team's mental toughness and resiliency during this difficult situation?
Especially the last 2 games playing on the road. We got 2 big wins, so we've grown up as a team. We struggled with that earlier in the season, so we've grown up a little bit.
Did Coach Stansbury leave you guys with any sort of message before your game against Middle Tennessee State tonight?
We met with him at his house a few days ago, and he's just telling us to play hard, and we're just playing for him right now.
If he's watching, is there anything you want to say to Coach?
Get well. Get back here.
From all of us at CBS, Coach Stansbury, we hope you feel better soon. Good luck with the surgery. And if you're watching, we know you probably don't have a Facebook page, but maybe one of your 3 sons does, and they can help you out. Feel free to tune in, comment. We'd love to hear from you on Facebook tonight. Hope you feel better soon, Coach.
Well, plenty from Melanie throughout the course of the night. Starting lineups for both these teams. Lamonte Bearden coming back into the starting lineup 4 games ago has really changed the offense. He's a guy that can get 20 but also give you 11 assists like he did last Thursday. Antonio Green, Donovan Sims, the guy, but Reggie Scurry playing much better in conference play.
What a tenacious offensive rebounder. You know Antonio Green's going to put it up from deep. You must find Scurry, who leads Conference USA with nearly 4 offensive rebounds a game.
So Mark Shue coaching what is his 3rd game. Nick McDevitt in his first season at Middle Tennessee after 6 years at UNC Asheville. Check that, 5 years. He had 21 wins in each of the last 3. Made the NCAA tournament in 2016. But he's got to deal with that man, Charles Bassey, who many people will believe could be a lottery pick as soon as this June. And Lamonte Bearden right off the get, showing a little bit between the legs. It's going to be fun, my friend. This is the 137th meeting between these 2 rivals.
Yeah, and Middle Tennessee has owned Western Kentucky as of late. They've won 13 of 15 as Bearden strolls in.
He said to us before the game he's going to put on a show. He didn't specify what that meant.
Well, he's had certainly the roller coaster year. He was ineligible to start the season, and then some discipline reasons, missed 2 games. But when he's on the floor, this squad is totally different.
It's last touch by Josh Anderson.
And because Bearden, like you mentioned, had those 11 assists against Rice, watch how the defense is more worried about him passing the ball than scoring. Got to stop the ball, fellas.
And he hasn't turned it over very much the last 5 games either. Just 5 on the shot clock for the Blue Raiders. Carl Gamble to work. Sims the 3 to beat the clock, and it's good.
His coach, Nick McDevitt, told us this. He needs to make good decisions while being aggressive. Here's a guy who is a former walk-on, is still learning his role as becoming one of the go-to guys on Middle Tennessee. And you know on the road, to see that first one go through the net, it's got to feel oh so good.
Now, you tune into this game if you haven't watched the Blue Raiders the last few months. You'd be shocked as Bassey on the inside left alone. You'd be like, how are they 8-17? They had 125 in each of the last 3 years. Well, Kermit Davis goes to Ole Miss. They lose 8 of their top 11 players from last season. Total turnover, and they've tried to find themselves.
Well, I saw them earlier in the year against Ole Miss, and they're a completely different squad now. Really only playing 7 guys, but everyone understands their role. And Jason, you know this is better than anyone. You got to have an identity. And right now, Middle Tennessee, guys understand their roles, as Sims is starting to emerge as one of the best guards in all of Conference USA.
Nick McDevitt said he was afraid to shoot the ball in November, December. He said even in high school, he wouldn't shoot. He only averaged 12 points a game as a senior. I said, how'd you change that? He said, I screamed at him. I said, what'd you scream? He said, shoot. That's a man who can knock in a 3. Terrence Savage hit 5 of them Thursday against Rice. Right to the basket, Johnson. And Bassey underneath. Did not hit the rim. Shot clock does not reset here with an early 5-4 advantage for the Blue Raiders.
Yeah, watch Antonio Green here. He's got to get back on defense. That's why I circled him.
Hollingsworth. Bearden. What a follow! Holy cow, Lamonte Bearden. He was right. He knew he would put on a show. Here comes the 5th-year senior again. Bounce pass. Anderson blew the layup.
Oh, what a look, though, huh? You can see that Lamonte Bearden is playing with a lot of confidence and a lot of swag. What a dime. And you don't see Josh Anderson miss that close to the rim too often.
No, Josh Anderson's a 50% shooter who's got as much athleticism as anybody in Conference USA. Green tries another 3. That's long. And Bearden's got his rebound. You get triple doubles in the cards tonight. Bounces it to Bassey. He's met at the rim. The putback, no, and that's offensive basket interference. Anderson was holding on to the rim as the ball was above the cylinder. Kentucky fans knows how that goes.
And here's the steal, Hollingsworth. I thought this is good defense by Green. He forces him into a tough shot, but watch Bearden's athleticism. Oh, boy. Started his career at Buffalo, the Milwaukee native. Told me before the game, his job is to make other guys better on the court. So far, he has been, as advertised, putting on a show.
Sims left alone. Another offensive rebound. Middle Tennessee's been much better at that late. Almost 12 offensive rebounds a game for the Blue Raiders.
The execution from Middle Tennessee's been good. They've gotten some really solid looks.
And that's a miscommunication.
Oh, boy. On cue, right?
Antonio Green missed on that look. And again, here on CBS Sports Network on Facebook Watch, we don't take commercials. We're going to be with you the entire time. And for more on that man and why, while today for most of us is great, different story for him. Here's Melanie Collins.
Yeah, Jason, it's more of a somber day for Antonio Green as this marks the 3-year anniversary of his stepbrother Terrence's death. He was shot and killed in Memphis 3 years ago, just before his 21st birthday. And Antonio Green wears the number 55 to honor him. His birthday was May 5th. And I spoke to him at shoot-around. He told me this is the first time I'm playing a game on this day. So he said he's just trying to stay positive and focused. And it would be nice to honor him with a win against one of the biggest rivals tonight.
Yeah, Melanie certainly would. Antonio Green began his career at UT Rio Grande Valley, formerly UT Pan American. Was a good player, averaged more than 12 points a game, and as you mentioned to start this broadcast tip, he has made 81 threes this year, the record for Middle Tennessee, 85 from Kitty Potts that was set last year. Again, he can make 4 in a game. He's done it.
Now his light is ultra green for Antonio Green, and you see in wins this year how dominating he has been. As far as losses, not so much, but he was forced earlier in the year, Jason, to take a lot of difficult shots because at the end of the shot clock, this was before Donovan Sims had really emerged. So they would just kind of throw Green the ball and be like, go make something happen. So his percentages are down, but talking to the Western Kentucky coaching staff, they told us before the game, when he crosses half court, we got to find where he is because his range is legit unlimited.
He's having a first-team All-Conference USA season, but there are some solid guards in this conference, including the two at UT San Antonio. Those two guys at any moment can go off for 50 in a game.
Javon Jackson is so much fun to watch, and kind of reminds me a little bit of Trae Young 2.0, who whenever he had the ball in the hand, something exciting was going to happen.
Sure.
I think Conference USA, maybe not as top-heavy as it has been in years past, but more balanced.
And we'll get into that top-heavy aspect of this because that is one of the reasons that bonus play has come in. Having a little bit of an issue with the clock, but now they got it all settled with 15:51 to go in the half. But remember, Conference USA this year, the first conference to do it. They set out the first 14 conference games before the year, but the last 4 conference games yet to be determined. It's all going to be based on the standings, which, you know, there's still a lot to sort out here with the last 2 games for most teams. Back to basket in the low blocks. Chase Johnson out and running. Western Kentucky back on defense. Antonio Green left alone, and Mark Shue was screaming for 7 seconds that Green was all by himself. And just what you said, when he's across half court, somebody's got to find him.
Yeah, of all the guys, that's probably the #1 guy you don't want to leave open.
Bassey wasn't looking for the ball. Anderson threw it to him anyway.
Excellent ball movement, but kind of an easy decision. Get your best player wide open. He's able to bang that home. I really like the edge and the energy that Middle Tennessee is playing with. Do you agree?
No question. They don't look like an 8-17 team, and they haven't played like that the last 3 weeks. Savage going to go to the free throw line.
Jared Savage started his career at Austin P, a local kid from Bowling Green, Kentucky, and him and I went at it today in a famous game called Pig. Okay, it was
more people know that as horse.
Okay, so we had to kind of limit it because it was during shoot-around, and he's got some tricks up his sleeve. Now, I'm not going to lie and say he beat me because I did beat him 2 out of 3, but He's got deep range. He certainly can shoot it from 3. He's had 3 different games this year where he's made 5 threes or more. And over 60% of his hoops are threes, but a great kid and a perfect example of a student athlete here at Western Kentucky.
Sims left open. That's off the rim, and Savage has the rebound. Now, you said you let him win the 3rd game. Is that not true?
Yeah, this is his court. I got embarrassed. I beat him the first 2.
Anderson, that's wide open. He gets the roll.
If you haven't seen Western Kentucky play, Josh Anderson could be the best player in this league this year. When he makes that shot, he is the best player in this league. Better than Bassey, better than John Elmore, better than anyone else. Green hits again. But his athleticism, and now the masked man, Jason, he is immensely talented. Josh Anderson, number 4 in white.
And he's wearing that mask because he broke his nose about 3 weeks ago. Since putting the mask on, he's averaging almost 18 points a game. He may be Rip Hamilton. He may never take it off. Hollingsworth, that's a deep triple. Tavion Hollingsworth, the sophomore from Lexington. He's second leading scorer on this team at 14.5 a game. Green gets another look. That's well off the mark. Another offensive board, and it's cleared away by Bassey. Charles Bassey, 9 block shots the last 2 games.
Now here's Josh Anderson, who is a top 100 pick. I don't know why that happens at home. More often you get that roll, and then Bassey says, give me some of that.
What dialect would that be?
That I don't know. But Bassey had a 4.0 in the first semester, so who says one-and-done guys don't pay attention in school? Do you believe he's a one-and-done talent?
He gets it inside, and if he does that a lot, yeah, he might very well be.
I watched him after shoot-around shoot about 150 wide-open three-pointers. And the way the NBA is going right now, he's going to have to step out. He's right now really good around the rim, but limited offensively.
Hawthorne the dump down low, and Reggie Scurry off the glass. Blue Raiders cut it to a 3-point deficit. Now Bassey can step out and shoot it. He has made 9 of 17 triples throughout the course of the season. Math is better than 50%.
Yeah, he shoots a set shot, but the fact that he can make it like that, that's great for the future. Only a freshman.
And he reclassified, a young freshman at that. He didn't turn 18 until the end of October. He lost the ball. James Hawthorne off the bench would play starters minutes.
And that's the one bugaboo in his game. He's nearly 5-to-1 turnover to assist ratio. He turns it over a little bit too much even for my liking.
Savage sets up for 3. And it's tipped out to Sims. Western Kentucky 2 of 5 from beyond the arc.
Watch Green here.
Green has already taken 5 threes in this opening half. He takes, as Tim mentioned earlier, about 10 triples a game. He's on pace for 20.
He's not shy.
And they don't want him to be.
No.
When you got a stroke like that, why would you want him to be? Delano Banton, another freshman into the game. Jake Omer there too, the lob. And Bassey's fouled. James Hawthorne got him down low. And so they'll get the ball when we come back out of bounds.
What makes Charles Bassey so tough is the way he's able to use his body. Check out the 6'10" freshman. Get position, and then you're really at his mercy. You know, I watched him earlier in the year, a game that was on CBS Sports Network, where he dominated Ethan Happ. He was 7 of 8 from the field. He had 19 points, but it was really his defense that frustrated the sensational power forward from Wisconsin. His length and athleticism really put him in a tough spot, a game that Western Kentucky won here at home.
Now, we mentioned he can make the 3-point shot. Western Kentucky certainly is a team that can do it. 1,001 straight games with a 3, but maybe none more famous than what happened back in 2008. 12th-seeded Western Kentucky taking on a 5th-seeded Drake, who had an unbelievable season. Drake got out to a 16-point second-half lead. Western Kentucky stormed back into the ball game to force overtime. despite Drake's abilities to bury from three. But this in OT, Tyrone Brazelton raced across midcourt, finds Ty Rodgers, maybe the most famous three in Hilltoppers history, in overtime to beat Drake, 101-99. Now that's a great moment. But what about what happened a couple of years ago? Tim, remember when everybody was picking Michigan State in 2016 to win the NCAA tournament? They were a 2 seed.
There should have been a 1 seed, everyone was saying.
Well, instead they lost by 9. 15 seeded in Middle Tennessee, knocked him off by 9. Reggie Upshaw and Kitty Potts led the way for Kermit Davis. So, we asked you here on Facebook, which is a better NCAA tournament moment? Ty Rodgers, Middle Tennessee is a 15 seed. Make sure to use the hashtag MT versus WKU. And again, best responses, we'll show you throughout the evening. The poll is there. CBS Sports Network on Facebook Watch.
Whenever I see a poll, I just vote on it. Sometimes I don't even know what I'm talking about, but if you have enough energy and effort to post a poll, I'm going to vote.
So what would you vote?
I'm going to go Middle Tennessee because that Michigan State team, like I said, they were supposed to be a 1. They end up getting a 2, and then they get bounced.
I'll give you the contrarian point of view. Middle Tennessee was better than a 15 seed.
They were, and Middle Tennessee should have gotten into the dance last year. That was a shame.
3 on the shot clock for Hollingsworth out of the timeout, splits the defense, and it rolls off to Hawthorne.
Green's gotten some looks so far in this game, only 1 of 5 for 3. Guy was averaging nearly 20 points a game and had some enormous performances.
Farquhar into the ball game as well for Middle Tennessee. He's got the ball. Junior Farquhar well off the mark. It's not a very good shooting team. Middle Tennessee has had some off nights throughout the course of the year. Over for 3, rattles it home. That's bonus. That's a 1.5 point per game score.
Now, Omer's made 12 field goals this year. 11 of them have been threes. They have success getting right there in the middle. That's the guy you want to get the ball to.
It's good passing. Gamble off on the baseline, and Bassey collects his first rebound.
I always want to put out my best passer in the middle there, go out there and make plays for other guys.
Hollingsworth from Bassey, that's off the mark.
There's so many teams just shuffle in a forward or a center, and those guys aren't real playmakers. I would put like my best playmaker in the middle and then be aggressive there. Instead, so many times they just have a guy who can't really make a play.
So you'd put Sims in the middle?
Or Green. See, like, he's having to look at the basket there, Gamble.
They got Hawthorne in the middle. Nice pass to Gamble.
This zone is not very good right now for Western Kentucky, so excellent look there. Interior passing. I would get the ball in the middle every single time, but that guy who catches the ball needs to be aggressive from a shooting standpoint or a playmaking standpoint.
Good patience, too, from the Blue Raiders on that last possession. It had been one of their last 7. Savage back into the ballgame, fights it up. And here comes Sims on the break. Pulls up from 3. And they can't buy from beyond the arc, 2 of 9, and they throw it away. Turnovers have been an issue for the Hilltoppers pretty much all season long, and you mentioned the ones from Bassey.
Yeah, I love the fact that they got into the teeth of the zone right here, and then now you got Bassey guarding 2 guys. Excellent delivery. Get someone up there and go and make a play. Gamble, the recipient of an excellent pass from Hawthorne.
Mark Shue coaching for Rick Stansberry for a 3rd straight game. Josh Anderson back into the ball game now. He had the mask on before. He missed a layup. He no longer is wearing the mask. Broken nose and all, tough it out. And an offensive foul whistled on Carl Gamble.
I've never wore a mask, have you?
Not for a broken nose.
See the screen up top there, excellent call. Gamble doesn't like it, but he lays right into Omer. See the shoulder kind of comes out? Point of emphasis, the official's right on top of it. Omer goes, not going to feel too good in the morning.
And he's going to the bench. Gamble with the 2 fouls. I don't know, the mask looks cool, no?
I would find it horribly distracting.
Savage offensive putback. Western Kentucky's lead is up to 6. Nice jumper pull-up, Chase Johnson. Good-looking freshman from Buffalo. I want to remind you that you can turn off the comments, speaking of distractions, if they're bothering you, the bottom of the screen by swiping right on your mobile device. You can do that at any point during the game.
Well, we appreciate you chiming in on the poll as well. Jenny says 2008, so does Joe. Chris agrees. Daniel says 2016 as far as bigger NCAA moment. Western Kentucky knocking off Drake. Or was it Middle Tennessee beating up on Michigan State?
Hard foul, Josh Anderson, his first.
Jarrett Savage looks like he's redeemed himself since losing 2 games a pig to myself. Excellent drive. He was out here an hour before shoot-around. Shooting, and that's how we started, just shooting around and talking. And then before the game started, he was out here 2 hours and 15 minutes before the game started. I was starting to get tired watching how much he practiced before the game even started.
Oh, he's a good-looking player. You and I got a chance to see him a couple of years ago at Austin Peay. And he was a good-looking player then. Now, different system. Was in the tournament as a freshman with Dave Luce towards the end of his career.
He told me he was not recruited to Western Kentucky out of high school. A different coaching staff then. Ray Harper was the head man here. Rick Stansbury gets the job, and he thought it was just a better fit. And he seems to be a perfect piece to his Western Kentucky puzzle.
Ray Harper, the coach here at Western Kentucky, who took the team to the tournament, now at Jacksonville State, where they went a couple of years ago with Nobertas Giga. I know one of your favorite players in the Ohio Valley Conference, or at least he was. Now playing professionally overseas.
1-3-1 zone falling back into 2-3. I would get a guy like Banton. 20, he's in the corner. Excellent passer.
Darlu Smith throws it away. Another turnover. And Sims had it knocked away. Lamonte Bearden, who had such a hot start. But Western Kentucky's lead 4 with 7:54 to go. I tell you what, it's been up and down. There have been a lot of good looks. This game could be much higher scoring than it is.
No doubt about it. Middle Tennessee's gotten some good looks. Western Kentucky, they've been at their best when they're pushing the ball in transition.
Let's go back over to the third member of our team, Melanie Collins, with a special guest.
Thanks, guys. Well, we'll get to the special guest in a second, but because it's Valentine's Day, we thought what better way to celebrate than to have players and coaches from both teams give shout-outs to the people they love. Check it out.
I just want to say happy Valentine's Day to my daughter, Aubrey. Daddy loves you and can't wait to see you.
Happy Valentine's Day to everyone. I'd like to give a special Valentine's shout out to my mom, Tiffany McClain, and my daughter, Azala Green. Hope you guys have a nice day, and I'll see you soon.
Happy Valentine's Day to Alyssa Kavanaugh. I know you're watching. Get well soon.
What's good, Mama? I'm here at WKU. Wishing you a happy Valentine's Day. You did a lot for me over the years, and I'm very thankful for all you did for me. And Valentine's Day to my little sister, even though she a demon, but I love you too.
Happy Valentine's Day, Mom. Chanel, I love you.
Happy Valentine's Day to my mom, Sheena Gamble, and my girlfriend, Everett Pitchford. I love you guys, and I'll see you soon.
Happy Valentine's Day, Mama Phyllis. I love you.
Hi, I'd like to wish my family a happy Valentine's Day, to my wife, Lauren, and our 2 kids, Cooper and Katie. Hope you guys had a great day.
All right, so we have a poll question for our viewers. You know, Valentine's Day got us thinking, what is the better Valentine's gift? Is it chocolate or is it flowers? Use the hashtag MT versus WKU. And wow, I am joined by a special guest who has both flowers and chocolate. I would take both. Let's see here. Oh, thank you. Oh, it's good chocolate. I'm going to say chocolate in this situation, guys. What do you think?
Well, you did tell us earlier that it has to be good chocolate. Otherwise, you're not taking it. So it's good to know that that one's good chocolate. Now, I got lucky in this game. By the way, check out that poll throughout the course of the game. I got lucky in the Valentine's game. My wife is allergic to flowers. My father-in-law is allergic to flowers. I never have to buy flowers.
You know, I think Big Red might be a good fit for Melanie because he can't talk.
Open 3, Chase Johnson. What you didn't answer? Flowers and chocolate. What do you want after the game? Omer on the drive.
Are you kidding me? Chocolate. Chocolate, chocolate, chocolate. Please chime in. What would you like? Melanie got flowers and chocolate so far. Middle Tennessee hanging around on the road, only down 4.
I guarantee we will not see that chocolate after the game. Sims left alone. Western Kentucky, Tim, is staying in that zone. And Middle Tennessee's finding open looks.
A great job once again getting it to that free throw area and then finding shooters out on the perimeter.
Omer already hit one. Extended minutes here with Bassey on the bench. Getting him extra rest here in the first half.
Joe chimes in, he says, and that is some thunder right there for Middle Tennessee. Reggie Scurry. Kelly says flowers. Nick Doyle, not related. He says chocolate as well. Are you surprised Middle Tennessee were to lead here, Jason Horowitz?
They've been playing well the last 3-4 weeks, and Western Kentucky's one of the younger teams in terms of overall experience. They go in spurts. They'll play outstanding basketball for 8 minutes as Banton stepped out of the baseline. They play great for 6-8 minutes. They play horrible for 6-8 minutes. They happen to be in one of those 4 or 5 minute stretches.
Watch the free throw area. Look at the success they've had getting it into that area, and then all of a sudden Hawthorne has become an excellent passer. We've seen him multiple times find big guys for easy layups or shooters on the perimeter.
Barber's watching in South Carolina. Clearly a Blue Raiders fan.
Barber could not have been happy last year. In your eyes, Middle Tennessee, should they have gotten to the tournament?
Yes.
They were.
You and I saw them close out Conference USA's regular season title by beating Western Kentucky by 18.
I mean, there were fans crying in the stands, kissing babies. I mean, there was no way they weren't going to get in. Lose, and then lose first round of Conference USA, their first game, and then they don't get in. That was the highest RPI team to not make the tournament in the history of the RPI in the tournament combined.
Yeah, they were 16-2 in conference last year. Sims spins, throws it off the glass, and it rolls in. Donovan Sims has 10. 1 point a game last year. Wouldn't take shots early in the ball game. And the officials collaborate, and it's back to Middle Tennessee.
I thought Sims should have jumped into Hollingsworth right there. Instead, degree of difficulty off the charts, gets the roll. Middle Tennessee's playing a lot of confidence.
Back to your point, though, about Middle Tennessee not making the tournament last year. Western Kentucky had a good RPI and a good record last year, too. Went to the semifinals of the NIT. It's one of the reasons this conference has gone to this new schedule that they'll unveil after Saturday's games. Beard just throws it up there out of control, and the Blue Raiders back the other way with a 5-on-3. Green pulls up and buries the 3. Middle Tennessee with a 6-point lead, and Hawthorne is back down behind the play, holding his right knee.
The scouting report on Antonio Green is, especially in transition, great effort there by Hawthorne. And then, yeah, see that knee came down funny. Hopefully it's just a twist. Great effort there. He's been playing a really solid game. And then Green goes the other way, buries the 3. We don't want to play doctor here, but he's getting up to his feet right now. He's going to hobble off the floor.
Reese Shivers, the trainer, will trail him. His 3rd season as the trainer for the Blue Raiders. You mentioned playing a great game. James Hawthorne comes off the bench. He is one of the 3 players that played at all last year. Donovan Sims and Carl Gamble, the other 2. None of them scored a lot. None of them a lot of rebounds. They had really nothing back from last year's team that had those 25 wins. The effort, it's not with points. 4 rebounds and 3 assists in the 10 minutes he's played off the bench.
He's been really good in that zone. Let's just hope that he's okay there. Obviously, see Melanie Collins, she'll have a report. He's been passing the ball well, rebounding. Middle Tennessee, 12-0 run over the last 3+ minutes.
Western Kentucky missed its last 4 shots, 3 turnovers to boot. Hollingsworth, the crossover. That's strong. Scurry chases it down. Mark Shue at the top of the screen, the interim coach for Western Kentucky. Every time his guys leave Antonio Green, he is screaming. and it's happening too often. Green's got the ball with 7 on the clock. The drive, and he last touched it back to Western Kentucky.
Yeah, he doesn't like the call. He thinks he got hit. I got a chance to talk to Antonio before the game. Let's see if he gets hit here. Nice job by Bassi. He did get a little bit of his hand, but the hand is part of the ball. Antonio was telling me he loves to watch Steph Curry. Unlimited range, very similar to himself.
Bassi back in the ball game, and back at the rim with a vengeance. Six points and a couple of rebounds for the freshman with 12 double-doubles, but he went for the block. Nobody helped out on the weak side, and Scurry put it back in. Scurry called for the foul. That's the 4th on the Blue Raiders. So 3:45 to play here in the opening half. Western Kentucky had an 8-point lead. Middle Tennessee now up by 6. Now, Donovan Sims has certainly been a major performer the last few weeks for this team, certainly the last 4 games, and that's continued here in the first 12-15 minutes.
Well, he made his first shot, and when you're a young guy and that first shot goes in, now all of a sudden you start believing that you can do things and have superhuman efforts. He's buried a couple threes. Nick McDevitt says he's a quiet kid by nature. I would love to be in his shoes right now when the coach is telling you to shoot, be aggressive, go out there and be selfish for the goodness of the team.
He's got 10 points, and we're going to have more Middle Tennessee coming up Saturday at 2 Eastern when they head to Marshall to take on defending Conference USA champs, the Thundering Herd, right here on Facebook Watch. Steve Lapis is going to be embedded with Marshall. Our own Pete Gillen embedded with Middle Tennessee, and he is here with Melanie Collins.
Yeah, thank you guys. So I am with our friend and colleague Pete Gillen, and Pete's working the Middle Tennessee State beat on Saturday night for their matchup against Marshall. Pete, what are you expecting from that matchup? Is it going to be a good one?
I think it's going to be a great game. I think 2 different styles. Marshall wants to run up and down, chuck and duck, heave and leave, burp and slurp, and Middle Tennessee wants to take their time, pick their spots, go slow. So it's going to be a chess match. Should be a lot of fun. Middle Tennessee's really coming on and getting better.
You'll be taking the 5-hour bus ride with the team. Are you looking forward to that? Do you miss the bus trips from back in the day?
I do. I talk a little funny now. I hope they understand me. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. You know what I mean? They're from Tennessee in the South. So, but it should be fun. I'm excited getting to know the people, meeting people. Donovan Sims, the point guard. I get to meet his parents here. So I'm excited about the bus trip. It should be fun.
Yeah, there was a stretch this season where Middle Tennessee State lost 13 games in a row. What advice would you have for a young coach like Nick McDevitt, in an up and down first season?
Well, number one, I'm really impressed with him. I just say, just stay positive. And he has been positive. In other words, we're getting better. We played a tough schedule. We're all new. Everything, you can correct them, but in a positive way. But I'm really impressed. He's an outstanding young coach. But I would just say, keep being positive, because there's a negativity all around you when you lose 13 in a row. I mean, if I lost 13, I'd be jumping in the Schuylkill River in Philly, Melanie. But I wouldn't. But he's doing a great job, and they're getting better, and they're a dangerous team.
Thank you. Guys, back to you. There you have it.
Melanie, the Schuylkill River, one of the more difficult ones to spell in the country. I think there's an H and a U and a Y somewhere in there. Deep 3 off. Bassi, another board.
I thought he said the Cuckoo River.
Right, he might have. Anderson continuing to play without the mask. He started the game with it. Remember, dealing with a broken nose. Chasing that down and throwing it back in. Johnson on the drive. Chase Johnson the rebound. Into the crowd, and it's last touched by the Hilltoppers. Now, we saw Josh Anderson jump over a player Thursday at Rice. This one's a little bit more tame. But again, the athleticism from their sophomore from Baton Rouge.
You know what I want to see? This kind of aggressiveness for all 40 minutes. There's times in the game where he's the best player on the floor, and then there's times you look out there and you go, oh, wow, Josh Anderson's actually playing. He hasn't done much. And he could dominate a game in so many different facets. Defense, rebounding, scoring in transition. Made a 3 in this game. Now, only a sophomore, but the potential is off the charts.
Our boss, Steve Karasek, as we all want more Pete Gillen. The world needs more Pete Gillen. We might just have Pete come join us tonight.
Pete and I were talking before the game. I'm 1-1 against him. I had a win at St. John's, knocked off Virginia in the NIT. My stat line, no minutes, no points.
It's a good line.
And then at Northwestern, He knocked us off when he was the head coach of Virginia. It was like a 50-49. It could put a glass eye to sleep type of game.
Foul called on Savage. Now, the other night, our buddy Carter Blackburn was doing the Xavier game. He had a Pete Gillen bobblehead. I asked Pete if he has one. He said, nah, I traded it for a taco. He said, okay. You know, tacos are the perfect food, right?
Can anybody spot Pete Gillen's stylish glasses? He is styling and profiling there behind the bench. That is almost like Ric Flair-esque. Look at those things.
He's one of the only men in the country who has kept his glasses from 1987.
And now they're back in.
Yeah. He with our man Tom Wicks, also with CBS. Happy to have you with us here in Bowling Green. 32-26. Middle Tennessee with the lead. They've won their last 3 trips here. Have not lost in this building since 2012. And Western Kentucky's been a good basketball team. It's one of those surprising notes, how dominant Middle has been in this rivalry. Inside of 2 minutes here in the opening half. Bearden's got it with 5 on the shot clock. Into the corner, Anderson at the shot clock horn. And the Hilltoppers now 3 of 10 from beyond the arc.
Anderson only a 30% three-point shooter. If he becomes capable where he makes them when he's open, he will be unguardable at any level of college basketball.
Good to see Hawthorne back in the ballgame. Now has a brace on his right knee over his shorts. In the break, Savage lays it off the front of the rim. Hilltoppers back within 4. Again, stretches for Western Kentucky where they clearly show they're the better team. But it's the inconsistencies of Western Kentucky.
Well, I think Middle Tennessee's done a good job of getting back on defense, because when Western Kentucky, when they're at their best, they're pushing the ball down the floor, and they can start it with a bunch of different guys, whether it's Bearden or Hollingsworth. That time Anderson starting the break. And when they're playing well and clicking on all cylinders, the hard part for them is one word: consistency. Yeah. And Rick Stansbury has stressed that all season long when he was on the sideline, is getting the same effort each and every night for 40-plus minutes.
Now, Tim, you mentioned that Josh Anderson maybe could become the best player in Conference USA. He's certainly looking like one of the most athletic. This was last Thursday. James Harden was in attendance. He did sat about 25 feet in front of the Beard.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
The amazing thing is he did it twice. The first time, the defender was outside the arc, appropriately called the charge. The second time was in overtime, and that was an and one.
He's one of those guys that you put on the scouting report. When he jumps, don't jump with him. Now, Hawthorne has been really effective passing the ball out of that high post.
Hilltoppers have done a good job on Green, but a nice look down to Hawthorne. And you wonder if he just doesn't have the lift off his knee.
It's good offense, though, against the zone. They got a wide open look.
Bearden out of control. Remember the first minute and a half when Lamonte Bearden looked like Russell Westbrook? Kind of gone away.
Middle Tennessee's done a good job of changing defenses, keeping Western Kentucky off balance.
Hawthorne rips that off the rim. About a 1-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock, so the Blue Raiders can hold for the last shot. And they're going to have the lead here on the road.
The guy to watch for is standing in the corner. Antonio Green, yeah, he's going to go get the ball right now and go make a play. Look for a high ball screen.
Gave it up back to Sims. 3 on the clock. He's got a hoist from 35 feet. And it's well off the mark. 32-28. Middle Tennessee the lead. Strong finish to the first half for the Blue Raiders to get back in front in a game that they trailed by 8. So they'll out off the floor. Nick McDevitt's team's got the lead, and he's with Melanie.
Thank Thank you, guys. Coach, you have to be pleased with that first half. You held Bassey to just 6 points. How pleased are you in terms of pace and execution so far?
Yeah, I thought we were able to do a pretty nice job with our shot selection and not too many live ball turnovers. They're really hard to handle when they get out in the open floor, so you can't have too many live ball turnovers. They're on you in a hurry.
You told us today your team is trending in the direction of playing complete games. What's it going to take to finish this one out?
A complete game. Another 20 minutes. Obviously a great crowd here tonight. They've got a great team, very talented players. 20 minutes won't get it done. You got to play a full 40.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Melanie, Coach, one of the good young coaches in college basketball, 39 years old after 5 years at UNC Asheville. And again, his team has the lead. 28, it's the end of the half. Halftime's going to continue from Bowling Green, Kentucky, but first a word from Conference USA and Western Kentucky.
We are stronger together.
We push our teams to excel.
In the classroom.
On the court.
In the community.
Together we are committed and uplifting.
Strong and uplifting.
We are building the next generation.
A generation with integrity. And we are doing it our way.
Supporting one another.
Working towards the same vision. Stronger together.
This is the CUSA way.
The flat path is easy, but for the inspired, there is a spirit that kindles a desire to climb higher, to soar, to roll, to reach new heights. The wish to be a part of something more, to do more and to be more. Hilltoppers know that life at the top is worth the climb. Climb with us at Western Kentucky University.
Back inside Diddle Arena, 32-28. Middle Tennessee the lead on Western Kentucky here at the half, along with Tim Doyle and Melanie Collins. Jason Horowitz, happy to have you with us. Hope you're having a wonderful Valentine's Day. I know we are the ones that you want to be spending it with, so which is good.
Come here, we should do this like this.
You didn't give me
Friendship.
chocolates today. We never got an answer to that poll question, chocolate or flowers. We'll finish that in the second half. Conference USA, changing scheduling. It's certainly a big story. And here's the explanation as to why Conference USA is changing its scheduling. Now, the first 14 games determined before the year. But once games are over on Saturday, the teams are going to be grouped into 3 tiers, 1 through 5, 6 through 10, and 11 through 14. You are going to play the teams in your tier for the final 4 games. And if you are in the top tier, 1 through 5, you cannot be seeded for the conference tournament outside of 5. If you're in 6 through 10, same thing. You'll be in the tournament somewhere through 6 through 10. And Tim, the reasoning for this was twofold, right? You mentioned it during the first half. Middle Tennessee left out of the tournament last year, and at-large that probably should have gotten in. Western Kentucky conversation as well. So one of the reasons, have better games against better net-ranked teams at the end. The other reason is they want better seeding for the team that does get in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I think last year was a chain reaction to the changes of this year, because I thought last year you could have put 3 different Conference USA teams in.
Yep.
You know, Middle Tennessee was ranked in top 25. Western Kentucky lost in the championship of the NIT. And then Marshall, who got into the dance, not only did they get in, they knocked off Wichita State. So I think last year the talent top-heavy of the conference was so great. There's going to be some ups and downs with this decision-making. I think it's sensational to have the best teams paired up. But how about the travel?
Yeah, well, they'll figure that part out, and we'll have a better idea of that travel coming up here on Saturday night after all the first 14 games are done. Here are the top 5 teams as of now, and this is the conversation that we're going to be talking about, because it goes from Old Dominion all the way to San Antonio. But this is the team, and they don't play till Saturday. They only got 1 game left. They are sitting to be in first place in Conference USA. They're a 20-game winner, but UTSA with maybe the best backcourt in the conference.
Yeah, they are explosive, fun to watch. Javon Jackson's got in the gym range. They try to go up and down, and that was really the moment for Middle Tennessee to change their season around when they knocked off UTSA. I love what Grant McCaslin's doing at North Texas. They play small ball there. They really get after it, go after the glass. I think the most talented team, would you agree? Western Kentucky Conference USA.
They were picked preseason to win the conference. You've got Charles Bassey, you've got some other guys in the starting 5 all averaging double figures, but this might be one of the hottest teams in Conference USA.
Yeah, I got a chance to see Southern Miss absolutely embarrass Marshall. That was a game that they won 100-50. They're going to be really tough at home. They played a ton of road games, kind of build their toughness for Doc Sadler's group. That's a team that not to sleep on.
Well, the other 2 teams that are only a game off of Southern Miss heading into this weekend, UAB and Marshall, 6-6, or at least heading into the night. they're right there as well. And again, you want to be in that top 5, so come conference tournament, you have to be in the top 5. You can't finish below that. And UAB and Marshall can certainly get there as you look at 6 through 10.
Yeah, I think Dan D'Antoni said it best. He said when you used to go down to Florida, all you had to do was stay awake and you would get 2 wins. But FIU, FAU, new coaches down there, renewed energy. They're playing much, much better. And as for Middle Tennessee, I actually find it hard to believe this is the same team I saw earlier in the year. They have gotten light years better in just the last couple of weeks. They're playing with confidence. They're playing with swag. They got blown out by Ole Miss, and everyone was trying to figure out their identity. Once Donovan Sims figured out that he needs to score a little bit more, this team completely 180.
Now, of course, all of this changes based on the scores that happen tonight and on Saturday. UTSA at Southern Miss is the impressive one. That's a 2-point lead. Over on CBS Sports Network, UAB and Marshall, an 8-point lead for the Blazers. Again, both of those teams 6-6 heading into the night.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on John Elmore and C.J. Burks to go out and get 55, 60 points every single game. So you stop one of those guys, they need someone else to step up.
And what you were talking about, going to FAU, used to just have to stay awake. North Texas is the 3rd seeded team as of right now, and they're down by 10 in the second half at FAU. The new scheduling, are you in favor of it?
Well, I like that it gives opportunities to these mid-major programs, because last year, Middle Tennessee should have got into the dance, and more than likely, they would have been very dangerous. I just think back. I watched the tournament for 2 reasons. Cinderella's early and the big boys late. But to think that Loyola of Chicago, if they would have lost to Illinois State in the Missouri Valley Conference Championship, there would have been no Sister Jean. There would have been no story that was captivating really the country around college basketball in Loyola of Chicago if they lose that game. Yeah. So I think we have to figure out a way to give more mid-majors opportunities to get into the tournament. You agree?
I have a way. Ooh. But hold on a second. Let's get you a poll on Conference USA's new schedule first. What do you think of their procedure? And again, it's Valentine's Day, right? So clearly this is where we're going with. Hashtag break it off. Hashtag it's complicated. Hashtag love it. We'll read your comments if they're good on the air. Put them in the comments. And again, the Facebook poll will be up there for you with the other ones as well. Now, this is my proposal.
Go ahead.
All right, we're going to call it the Horowitz Proposal. And one day,
interesting name.
Yeah, one day, hopefully, they'll make a musical about it. All right, here's the Horowitz Proposal about how we get more mid-majors who are deserving. If you go unbeaten in conference play, or you win the regular season by 4 or more games, the conference tournament no longer is to determine the automatic bid. It is to determine the NIT bid. Now, in the last 5 years alone, there are 6 teams that would have fit into this category that did not make the tournament. Georgia State and Ron Hunter back in 14, couple of teams in 15. Great Belmont team a couple of years ago that dominated the league but lost in the semifinals on a buzzer beater. And then Louisiana in the Sun Belt last year. They all were either unbeaten in conference play or have won the league by the regular season by 4 games. Do you like the poll?
I don't like it. I love it, all right? I love everything about it, all right? Because I want to see more mid-majors get that opportunity, because I believe on the biggest stage, on a neutral court, there is so much parity in college basketball that anybody could beat anybody. And for these mid-majors, you know how hard it is to schedule? I mean, I thought it was great that Western Kentucky got Wisconsin to come down here. Oh, by the way, Wisconsin lost.
Yeah.
So I think other Big Ten teams look around, they go, oh, we're not going to play any Conference USA teams. So it makes it so difficult for them to schedule that we almost have to reward them in another way to give them an opportunity to get into.
It also does 2 other things. One, it gets the best teams in the conference a guaranteed spot. If you are that dominant that you go unbeaten in conference play, you're in the tournament. 2, it makes the regular season matter more, which is one of the complaints of college basketball all the time, is that the regular season doesn't matter as much, particularly in the smaller conferences that are one big league. This makes the regular season matter more.
I'm all for giving mid-majors that opportunity. I'm not sure if the Horowitz Proposal is going to go anywhere.
It's going to pick up steam. Coach McDevitt liked it, didn't he?
Well, obviously, he coaches mid-major. Yeah, I think it's great. I'm not sure what the answer is going to be down the stretch, but here's the deal. Give the little guy a chance, because that story about Sister Jean, Loyola, Chicago, we've seen it before at VCU, George Mason, those mid-majors, those are the best stories of the tournament each and every year.
All right, so Horowitz Proposal, yes or no? All right, that's the question here. Yes or no? Hashtag yes, hashtag no. Do you like the Horowitz plan? And by the way, if Duke goes undefeated in the ACC, they get the automatic bid too. Not that they wouldn't get in, but just in case. Hashtag yes, hashtag no. All right, speaking of polls, we run a few of them here on this Valentine's Day. Let's go back over to Melanie Collins.
Thank you, guys. Well, let's just revisit those two polls from the first half. We had the better NCAA tournament moment. Was it 2008 Western Kentucky buzzer beater over Drake? Or was it 2016 Middle Tennessee's upset over Michigan State? And 96% went with 2008. Are you guys surprised by that?
Yes.
Me too.
Because what you're saying by picking the shot is that you think it's a better moment to have a shot, Melanie, as opposed to have a team where you just dominated the game.
And a 2-seed.
Yeah.
No less.
The tournament favorites, right, even though they were a 2-seed.
All right, our other poll question,
yeah,
the more important question, guys.
Yeah, more important.
Better Valentine's Day gift. Is it flowers? Is it chocolate? I have a feeling this one will be an overwhelming... Yeah, 89% went with chocolate. Can you blame them? I can't.
Now, do we need to put a caveat in there that says good chocolate?
In my opinion, yes. There's a difference between the cheap chocolate that tastes like a plastic bag and the good chocolate from Switzerland, say.
Just Switzerland.
Rumor has it Melanie just bought that jacket for today.
Not
Valentine's
true.
Day.
I've had this.
Rumor has it, right? I think there was multiple jackets. Was it going to be red? Was it going to be pink?
So I had to go with the pink because obviously if I wore bright red, I would look like a Western Kentucky fan.
Fair
and we
point.
all know what happens when the sideline reporter dresses in the team colors.
100%.
It never ends well. So I went with pink.
Very true. Good point. Here's the other thing. True story. When I was putting my clothes in the suitcase, I forgot it was Valentine's Day. I didn't even think about red. I forgot it was Valentine's Day.
My suggestion to you is once a month you got to go buy flowers.
I can't. She's allergic to flowers. My wife is allergic to flowers. Karen, I love you.
I knew that, but you still got to show the effort. And
she goes like plastic flowers? That's worse than the plastic chocolate.
Best part of my day so far, Melanie Collins picked up our breakfast bill.
Oh, nice.
That's amazing. And if I knew she was going to, I would have ordered so much more.
What'd you get?
Just like eggs and smothered and...
Oh, you
went to Waffle House. Yeah,
okay.
I mean, is there any other choice? When it's a choice, you have to go to Waffle House.
All right, it's a 4-point Middle Tennessee lead. 32-28, still at halftime here on CBS Sports Network on Facebook Watch. Hey, we're going to start the second half for Bowling Green, but first a word from Conference USA in Middle Tennessee.
Hey, basketball fans, don't miss a minute of college basketball at its very best. Here's what happened in 2015.
UAB at 14. That's why they call it March Madness.
In 2016.
Middle Tennessee takes down Michigan State.
Again in 2017.
March magic again for Middle Tennessee.
And once more in 2018.
March miracle for Marshall.
Make sure you can say, I saw them play in the conference tournament and knew they could do it.
Don't underestimate me.
Don't count me out.
Don't limit my potential.
Don't block my runway.
We are Middle Tennessee State University.
I exceed expectations.
I work harder than the rest.
I set the tone.
I still serve with honor.
I go the distance.
I am True Blue.
32-28, Middle Tennessee, the lead over Western Kentucky. Couple of minutes before the start of the second half. Now with Rick Stansbury out, Talvin Franklin is one of the assistant coaches. He's over there with Melanie Collins.
Coach, you said that a big key to this game today would be limiting the opposition's guard play, specifically Sims and Green. How do you go about limiting them in the second half?
Well, we just got to step up and guard them better. First half, they got off and they did what they do. They stepped up, made some big shots, made some threes early that got them going. So we have to do a better job on those guys, staying attached to them and taking away the three-point shot.
Middle Tennessee State's been kind of switching up their defensive looks to try and keep you guys off balance. How do you adjust to that in the second half?
It definitely bothered us some. We went in the locker room, we looked at it a little bit. We're going to come out and play with better continuity. We turned the ball over some that half, which we can't have. So just our rhythm and chemistry was kind of thrown off a little bit, but we'll adjust.
Coach, thank you for the time.
No doubt.
All right, Melanie, thank you very much. And again, if you're just joining us, Rick Stansbury for the third straight game is out, dealing with a back issue. He's going to have surgery tomorrow. They are hoping that he's back when bonus play starts next Saturday. Coach Franklin mentioned turnovers. 7 for both teams. It felt like more than that.
it just didn't feel like Western Kentucky was playing with that urgency where Middle Tennessee's 1-3 of 4. They're playing with a little bit of edge right now. They're playing with some confidence. As you check out Mark Shue, the guy who's coached at different levels, a Queens, New York native, but it's been really the story has been Middle Tennessee coming into this building playing with confidence and swag. Charles Bassey throwing around his 6'10" frame. Does he need to have more touches in this game?
That's the thing that they said last week, is sometimes they forget he's bigger than everybody else on the floor. So the answer to your question is yes. So does this guy. Donovan Sims had a great first half.
Yeah, banged down a 3 early. He was 4 of 9. He had 10 points. Him and Reggie Scurry combined for 20 of Middle Tennessee's 32 points. Even though they shot 38%, I thought the way they changed defenses as well as executed against the zone. Hawthorne, watched him at halftime, Jason. He dunked the basketball. His knee seems to be okay. He has been a difference maker with that catch in the middle, finding his teammates. Be interesting to see if Western Kentucky in the second half, if they show zone or they stay strictly man-to-man.
Yeah, talk about cutting it out. When he came down, when James Hawthorne came down on his knee, it looked a lot more serious than a guy that would miss a couple of minutes. Out-rebounding Western Kentucky. Now, Middle Tennessee on the season is a plus rebounding team, but by 6 against the squad with the size that Western Kentucky has is pretty impressive.
There's no other way to say it. Middle Tennessee wanted it more in the first half. Western Kentucky, the more talented team, did not play with that edge. Was fortunate, only down 4 at the half.
And again, with us here, CBS Sports Network on Facebook Watch. You can talk to us, join the conversation. And again, if you want to swipe right to remove the comments and the reactions, you can certainly do that. All of your photos and videos, be sure to use the hashtag MT versus WKU, and the best ones are going to be on the air.
And we see Wesley, Carey, and Nick all say yes to the Horowitz plan.
It's a good proposal. We'll revisit that one later. It's how you get the best teams from the conference guaranteed spots in the NCAA tournament. Gamble had a couple of fouls in the first half. Sat out the last few minutes. Right away, Hollingsworth. They lost him in transition, and he drills the 3.
3-point goal.
Now, this is interesting in terms of Western Kentucky. In their conference losses, the 4 conference losses, they have had the lead at the half in all of them. They have trailed in some of their wins. They haven't trailed in a conference loss at the half. Savage for the lead. And just like that, the Hilltoppers back up by 2. And a quick timeout taken by Middle Tennessee.
Well, let's give credit where credit is due. Nice job, Mark Shue at halftime. Came out. His guys have been inspired. Did not shoot it well from 3 in the first half. 3 of 10. But Bearden out in transition. Jared Savage, that is what he does. Spots up, buries the 3. Western Kentucky, they've come out with a renewed sense of urgency and energy. And I don't know why that happens. But when you play harder on the defensive end, it translates to better offense. I know Rick Stansbury's nodding his head right now as he's recovering in back surgery, but I didn't want to believe that as a player. But coaches always stress, you play hard on defense, good things will happen on offense. Western Kentucky kind of in and out with that energy in the first half. Gets off to a great start the second half.
You played for Bill Carmody at Northwestern, right? It's all about defense, right? You didn't believe it at Northwestern that defense led to offense?
As a player, you don't want to think that you have to play harder on defense. Sometimes I like to just save my energy for the offensive end. But the reality is they've come out, they've gotten a few stops, grabbed a couple of rebounds, and they're at their best. Western Kentucky is when they're pushing pace, fanning out shooters. Bassey's running the floor. Great start here in the second half.
34-32, Western Kentucky. And again, have not won this ball game against Middle Tennessee. They have lost 13 of the last 15 in the series. It's one of those surprising numbers because overall in the history, Western Kentucky has won 93 of the 136 meetings between these two teams. But the last 10 years, all Middle Tennessee.
And credit Kermit Davis, who did such an excellent job there. As you see Wesley chiming in. Monte, he's talking about Lamonte Bearden. dropping a couple of dimes here. He got off to a great start in that first half, and then was kind of quiet the last 18-plus minutes.
Yeah, he's got 4 assists now in the ball game. He had 11 assists, a career-high 11 assists in the double overtime win at Rice last Thursday. The other part of this, and again, we have talked about the Western Kentucky inconsistencies throughout the season. They've beaten Wisconsin. They've beaten St. Mary's. They've beaten a whole bunch of good teams. They've also lost to teams they're better than. They had an 18-point lead at North Texas. They won the game by 3, and as Coach Shue said, if that game was 42 minutes instead of 40, we'd probably lose it. Off the turnover, Bearden drills a 3 for 3 to start the second half for the Toppers. No second chance opportunity here early in the second half. Savage trailing the play. Hollingsworth wants a 3. Tim, too quick with their shots?
No, I think they're feeling it right now. I thought they had some good looks.
Gamble from beyond the arc. Middle Tennessee 4 of 15 from 3. Nobody stopped ball, and another timeout taken.
Now watch Lamonte Bearden here. He gets his defender on skates. Oh, they're going to skirt. Oh, he looked at him. No, he didn't. Buries the 3. He's pumped. He's all smiles. And then when Western Kentucky's able to get out and run, this is the guy that I absolutely love, Josh Anderson. Oh, man. He makes it look oh so easy, doesn't it? Doesn't the game look like it just... He's out there having fun.
He's certainly doing that. The crowd is into it. It's a great crowd on hand here in Diddle tonight. Not quite sold out, but you look in the corners, there are fans filled to the rafters here tonight on this Thursday night game.
All right, what does Middle Tennessee need to do to stop the bleeding? You got to get Antonio Green going. He has had a tough time getting a touch, number 55 in blue. You know, that's where they're showing their youth a little bit. Who's going to be their guy? Let's see if Green makes something happen.
He had 8 points in the first half, has not taken a shot yet here in the first 2.5 minutes. He's their 18-point-a-game scorer. Farquhar off the bench. They need a renewed sense of energy. Scurry just threw it off the glass. And another board for Bassey.
Bassey's got the mismatch down here.
He wanted the ball thrown in the air just like that. And the soft touch. Western Kentucky 13-0 since the start of the second half. Sims for 3. And finally, the Blue Raiders see one go through the net.
They go 1-3-1 zone. Key with the 1-3-1 from a defensive standpoint, you got to cut down the passing lanes. This is too easy a passing for Western Kentucky.
Hammer it home again. The big man into double figures with 10.
See, when you're able to swing the ball side to side, the defense can't react fast enough. Hence, you're going to get a wide open look. You've got to cut down the angles.
An ear steal, last touch by Sims. And there's nothing you can do once he's touching the ball in the paint.
Well, you see back and forth, and then nice drive by Anderson, showing another part of his game. Excellent look, and then that's where Bassey's at his best. Now Middle Tennessee, they showed 1-3-1. Now they're in 2-3 zone. I would love for Bearden to get right in the middle there because he's such an excellent passer.
Anderson on the drive again. Green finally gets a look, a tough look. Scurry showed the patience and has an opportunity for a three-point play.
And that is what Reggie Scurry does. Nearly 4 offensive rebounds a game in conference play. Middle Tennessee trying to hang around.
Under 16 timeout. Yes, this is the third timeout the second half, but the first 2 were both taken by the Blue Raiders. Now, nobody was in the lane to stop it, but he has the body. Josh Anderson, 6'6", 180. He really is able to get in the lane at will. All right, 45-37, Western and Kentucky to lead here with 15:38 to get. Now, we've had a whole bunch of polls today. I don't know that we're doing a poll on this, but if you want your all-Valentine's Day team, you've come to the right place. Love with Rose, and I think we went too easy with Denzel Valentine, frankly. But did you know that Val Barnes was named Val because he was born on Valentine's Day?
Amazing. So is Val Kilmer. I made that up. That's a complete lie. But I would like to see more Val Kilmer in my life. I think he's an excellent actor. I think he's underappreciated.
What was the last movie Val Kilmer was in? Yeah, exactly. 8-point lead for Western Kentucky. Val Kilmer nowhere to be seen. Second half here for Western Kentucky. They've been in the paint. They started with a bunch of threes.
They got some stops, and when they got stops, they were able to push it in transition. I thought they lacked that energy and effort in that first half, and certainly have flipped the switch here in the second half. They're the more talented team. They're the best team in Conference USA talent-wise, but they go to Old Dominion. That was a game against the Monarchs that was out in Virginia. Jason, they were winning that game 21-0. 21-0. Yep. They lost.
Yep.
But that game, I think, exemplifies this team, that when they're really good, they can blow out anybody, and when they're not, they can lose them.
But that's the point we were talking about from Saturday. In Denton against North Texas, they're up by 18 in the second half with like 18 to play. They have to hold on at the buzzer. So this is a team of spurts. Yes, they're talented. Yes, Western Kentucky was picked first preseason Conference USA, but they also had the Auburn grad transfer Deshaun Murray. He left in December to pursue professional ball overseas. So the team has changed. Lamonte Bearden wasn't eligible the first semester, academically ineligible. But they're certainly a dangerous team if they can get into the NCAA tournament. Good ball movement. Extra pass. 3 on the shot clock. Savage the trigger man. Three made triples in the first half. They've hit 4 in the first 5 minutes of the second half. Passy lost it. Johnson had it poked away. The effort certainly there by both teams now. You questioned a little bit of Western Kentucky's energy in the first half. Different story here in the second half.
Yeah, check out the ball movement here. I mean, this is a poor job by Middle Tennessee. They got to stop dribble penetration, whip it around, and Savage is able to bury the 3.
Matt Horton is Cupid for this roster. Val Kilmer probably is going to play Cupid in a movie soon.
More Val Kilmer is a good thing.
We're getting thumbs up from our crew. I'm not so sure. Sims on the drive. That's the aggression that Coach McDevitt has brought to the sophomore from Murfreesboro. And again, don't forget about the Horowitz proposal. No, it's not a will you marry me thing here on Valentine's Day. Do you like the idea that if you go unbeaten in conference play or win your conference regular season by at least 4 games, you have an automatic bid to the tournament, and the conference tournament is for the NIT? Hashtag yes, hashtag no in the comment section. Savage well off the mark. Majority of the responses so far have been yes. Horowitz proposal is that's not a bad idea.
I just found out from David Horowitz that Val Kilmer weighs 350 pounds now. Should not prevent him from getting a job, okay, David?
Yes, there is a relation there. Not to Val Kilmer, of course. 9-point lead, Western Kentucky. Hawthorne back on the floor, stuffed by Savage, but he's fouled.
Well, I thought clearly James Hawthorne won when he said Happy Valentine's Day to his family. So he got hit there before he was able to get into the act of his shot. And the fact that he's back on the court is such a good thing. Melanie Collins, what do you have for us?
Yeah, guys, well, Hawthorne's back out there, but he's definitely not at 100%. They officially told me it was a right knee hyperextension. They obviously put a brace on it, and you can see he's still kind of favoring his left side. He was in a lot of pain over here when he went down, but for now, he's going to continue to try and play on it in the second half.
Guys, watch his free throw shot. Watch what he does with the ball here. I've never seen that.
It works.
It's quite the routine. Like Nomar Garciaparra.
James Hawthorne entered this ball game as a near 84% free throw shooter. Nomar was, 300 hitter. Whatever works, works. Bearden's fouled. It's on the dish. Scurry picks up the foul. That's his second foul.
This becomes an important possession right here. Before the under-12 timeout, Middle Tennessee still within striking distance. Maybe get a stop and a score. They've switched defenses, seems like every possession now.
Now here's the other problem. Bassey and Tolu Smith on the floor at the same time for Western Kentucky. That's a pair of 6'10" freshmen. Inside to Smith. Fights it up, puts it in, and a three-point opportunity. Middle Tennessee just doesn't have the size to compete with that.
Well, Tolu Smith, only a freshman at 6'10". As of late, pretty consistent with his numbers. A couple baskets each and every game. He had 4 points, 8 rebounds last out against North Texas. And guys who are 6'10" that have some post skills like that, there's not a ton of them when you look across Conference USA, is there?
Not certainly with the basis that he's got.
It's a guard-heavy league. Some excellent guards out there, but Western Kentucky with two, obviously with Bassey and Smith, two very big-time big guys.
And back to the zone. This is something they struggled with. Middle Tennessee found the holes in the first half. But Smith and Bassey weren't on the floor together when they were playing. Last touched. It'll stay with Middle Tennessee with 12:47 to go and 9 on the shot clock. Coach McDevitt had the answers early on. His team trailed by 6 early in the first half. Had a 4-point lead. But Western Kentucky started the second half on a 13-0 run. Johnson has to hoist. Bassey's got the board. Ten points, 5 rebounds for the freshman phenom from Nigeria. The up fake gets some room, and Bassey's limping behind the play. Sims couldn't take advantage. Up ahead, Bearden, one more time. This time couldn't get it to finish. My goodness, his ability to use the basket as a shield is remarkable. But again, now the question mark is the health of Charles Bassey.
I thought he got away with an offensive foul there, and then right there, the right foot. Excellent job by our crew, getting multiple shots of that. Bassey heads to the bench. Those ankle sprains, they are awful as far as pain for about 5 minutes, and then it does subside.
Inside, Reggie Scurry has found the back of the 2-3 zone multiple times tonight. And without Bassey on the floor, you've got less experience with Tolu Smith in the middle. Anderson one more time through the teeth of the defense, this time on a trip to the free throw line. And Bassey is heading back to the locker room with trainer John Irwin. So Western Kentucky is dealing with the injury now to Charles Bassey. They're also dealing with the injury to Rick Stansberry. He has been dealing with back issues the last few weeks. He missed the 2 games on the road trip to Texas with Rice at North Texas. And the locker room reaction last week after they won in double overtime with Mark Shue as the interim coach. This was the reaction in Houston. Rick Stansberry was back at the hotel, and he watched his team earn a double overtime victory, and so there's FaceTime. You know, we were wondering before about the Facebook account for Rick Stansberry. He's got FaceTime. He's got Facebook.
He doesn't have Facebook. He does have FaceTime. Who doesn't have FaceTime?
People that don't have iPhones don't have FaceTime. With more on all that, go over to Melanie.
Well, guys, with Coach Shue filling in for Coach Stansberry, we talked to him at shoot-around. I asked him how his coaching style differs from Rick Stansberry. He said, I'm, a little bit younger, maybe more energetic, more of an in-your-face kind of guy. He said, Rick's more chill, much more chill. I asked him how the players have responded to his coaching style. He said, I don't know. We've won 2 games. We'll see what happens tonight.
He's pretty intense. Mark Shue's pretty intense. And again, this is an opportunity for him. He's been an assistant coach at New Mexico State. He's had some time at Binghamton. Comes here to be with Rick Stansberry. And again, this is an opportunity to showcase what he can do. And not many assistants get this opportunity.
He's got a very talented squad. You see Bassey back on the bench. Hopefully he's going to be okay. He's a guy who's definitely been through the wars, Mark Shue. And that's what you got to do in college basketball. You got to pay your dues. 5-star camp, built relationships, networks. It's one of the more well-respected assistant coaches in all of college basketball.
Anderson's free throw gives him 10. So 3 Hilltoppers in double figures. 7-1 their last 8 games. During that 8-game stretch, their starters are all averaging double figures. Antonio Green yet to score here in the second half. Leading scorer for the Blue Raiders, 18 points a game. He's stuck on 8. Johnson off the glass, and a late whistle and a foul. It's the foul on Jake Omer. It's the 4th on Western Kentucky, so Jace Johnson to the free throw line.
He was originally going to play college football, and his head coach Nick McDevitt told us when Middle Tennessee lost 13 games in a row, they didn't win a game, Jason, for 2 months. He said that Johnson was really the epitome of how he wants to build his team. Every day working hard in practice, toughness, gritty. It's nice to see this young team being rewarded. They've won 3 of their last 4 games, and they've been respectable in this game on the road in a very difficult environment.
Well, they had a 6-point lead. It was 4 at the half. Now remember, 2 more games, including tonight, for Conference USA before they go to their bonus play. And it'll be determined where they are in Conference USA standings. Teams 1 through 5, 6 through 10, and 11 through 14. What do you think of CUSA's new scheduling procedure? Hashtag break it off. Hashtag it's complicated. Hashtag love it. Get the best teams to play each other at the end of the season. That's the idea. Better seeding come tournament time. Maybe the chance to get 2 teams in this year. Probably not going to happen. I don't know that Old Dominion's got enough on the resume to be an at-large. They do have the win at the Carrier Dome, though.
Yeah, perfect scenario. Old Dominion wins out, maybe loses in the final as Anderson hits. If they win out and lose in the final,
gonna have conversation, absolutely.
No doubt they're going to be in the conversation, but I think every other conference is looking at what Conference USA is doing and going,
Gamble the putback off the glass. Cuts it back to 7. I like it. I'm hashtag love it. I don't know that it'll work. I don't know what the results will be in the next 3 or 4 years. But why not try something different? Why not try to help the best teams in your league? Thrown out of bounds. Anderson was looking for Tolu Smith, and again, Bassey dealing with the ankle injury, but he's about to check back in.
There's good patience here by Anderson, who's able to go left, get his defender leading that way. He gets back to his strong hand. Bassey still looks a little gimpy, doesn't he?
Yeah, on the right ankle is what they were looking at.
Yeah, I think that every other conference, whether it's the MAC, the Missouri Valley, they're going to watch Conference USA and be like, all right, how did that work out for them? only people that say it's complicated, the guys that run the travel. Because it's going to be a very interesting travel when you have teams in Virginia, and then you have teams in El Paso, Texas.
Right.
So they're going to be booking flights, and that could get pricey at the end of the day.
Well, remember, a couple of things. Normally, Conference USA has travel partners, right? Middle Tennessee, UAB, they go the same trips. Marshall and Western Kentucky, same trips. What your point is, that's going to change because you're 1 through 5, you're turning with no partners. However, to try and combat that, Conference USA gave them a week in between Saturday and when they're going to start again next Saturday. And there are 5 dates to fill in 4 games, so they'll try and figure that part out. Look, it's a trial. The idea is to try it.
And Nick chimes in. He #loves it as well. Please send in your comments. As Middle Tennessee, they are hanging tough here, only down 5.
Ulmer getting extended minutes here in the second half. Hit a 3 in the first half. The floater. Offensive board. The putback. Blue Raiders a chance to get this back to a possession.
Well, there's the matchup you want if you're green.
Left alone, buries the 3. It's a 2-point game with 9:10 to go. Savage, their leading scorer on the night with 13 points. Deep in the shot clock with 7. Hollingsworth back to Savage. He triggers the 3. Rolls it in. And a timeout taken by Western Kentucky. Mark Shue wants to shore things up on the defensive end.
Yeah, you see Middle Tennessee, give them credit. This young squad has been through so much adversity. Watch the breakdown here between Bassey. He gets caught in no man's land. Watch, he just runs away from the ball. Note to self, do not run away from Antonio Green. And on the flip side, Lamonte Bearden checking back into the game. Even though Savage made that 3, that was not a great possession there. The possession before, that's what Bearden brings. He brings that calmness to the squad. A lot of standing around on offense. Savage fortunate enough to step up and bury that one. Bearden's going to check back in the game. And Bassey in that limp is going to be something to watch for the remaining 8:39 of this game.
10 points, 6 boards for Charles Bassey. 12 double-doubles, 7 of them in conference play.
That's what I looked like this morning when I woke up in Nashville.
Rough night last night? It's a good city to have that happen.
Very similar color to Big Red.
Hey, you made it for the important part, my friend. Ball game.
It's been a good one.
Wrong with Tim Doyle, Melanie Collins, Jason Horowitz, happy to have you with us. Traveling on Hawthorne. He thought Johnson was going to be in a different spot.
And that is painful if you're Nick McDevitt. Once again, watch the feet. Close call.
Now, why have they scored more here in the second half? Well, A, yes, they're making baskets. B, neither team's turned it over. Just 7 combined second half turnovers after 14 in the first half. The foul on Gamble, that's his 3rd foul, and he just said to Nick McDevitt, leave me in. I'm staying on the floor. Now, Nick McDevitt didn't listen.
I think that both teams have shown spurts here when they're playing good basketball. Obviously, Western Kentucky to open up that second half.
Over Scurry. The fall is there for the freshman. Double on Hawthorne. Trying to fight his way out of it. Well off the mark from Scurry. Last touch by Western Kentucky. 11 on the shot clock. It'll be Blue Raiders basketball out of the timeout.
This is a big-time move from Charles Bassey, whose offensive package, as far as what he can do well, I think is still evolving. But watch how he creates space. It's subtle, but right there. Able to get some space. What do you think of his game at the next level? Especially the way the NBA has changed so much.
Needs to improve his jump shot. But also the other thing that you were talking about earlier, he has to be able to handle the basketball better. That has certainly been an issue.
It's kind of an old school type center. As we revisit, I don't know about this name, but the Horowitz Proposal.
We can call it whatever you want.
Your ego is so big.
So earlier here on CBS Sports Network on Facebook Watch, we proposed this to you. If a team goes unbeaten in conference regular season play or wins the regular season by 4 or more games, they would have the automatic bid to the tournament, and the conference tournament would be for the NIT automatic bid, or maybe the other team would get in too, depending on what their record is. But the teams below would have gotten an automatic bid based on the last 5 years. Now, America has been asked this question. Hashtag yes, hashtag no. That's what I'm talking about. 100% of you are in on the Horowitz Proposal. Now, I'm not sold on the name Tim Doyle. I'm all about sharing the credit. If we want to call it the Collins Doyle Horowitz Proposal, I'm fine.
Boy, that has a better ring to it in my eyes.
Whatever you want to call it. Now, I did propose this to David Warlock over at the NCAA this week. He was in charge of championships and head of PR, runs the NCAA tournament, makes sure the rules and procedures are followed. He does his job tremendously.
What he said?
You know, that's not that bad of an idea.
All right, how can we monetize this? That's what I want to know.
Out of the timeout, Hawthorne misses the three. I'm in for the goodness of people. But if you want to be my agent on this, I'm all for it.
Great idea. How do we make money on it, Jason Horowitz?
It's the American way. Beard in the spin, off the glass. Lamonte Bearden's got 9, and that's the lead for the Hilltoppers. Our man back in studio, Brent Stover on CBS Sports Network, says it's a brilliant plan. Bearden the steal. Hilltoppers' largest lead is 11. This to add to it.
Important possession here. Game starting to get away from middle.
Quick three from Antonio Green. And a foul on Chase Johnson. That's the 6th foul on Middle Tennessee. So one more will put Western Kentucky in the bonus.
I love the pace that Lamonte Bearden plays with. You don't necessarily have to be the fastest or the quickest, but if you're able to change speeds, now you can keep your defender on skates. And I loved watching him at shoot-around today. He's communicating with everybody. He's really enjoyed his stay here at Western Kentucky. Happy came back to school, and he has been excellent the last 5 games. Middle's in 2-3 zone.
Tolu Smith put the shoulder down, and that's an offensive foul. Easy call underneath for Bert Smith. You know, you were talking about Lamonte Bearden, and since coming back in the starting lineup, as we one more time, you lower the shoulder, they're going to call this every time. But Lamonte Bearden, the last 5 games, 36 assists, 6 turnovers. Tonight, 6 assists, 1 turnover. You're talking about a 6-to-1 ratio assist to turnover over a 6-game span.
Yeah, and he's been the difference in this squad during this winning streak. You know, if you look at Western Kentucky, they're one of the youngest teams in all of college basketball. So you need to have that experience, a guy who's been through the wars, to kind of calm the squad down. Excellent timing there by Bassey. That's what he does so well. That's what he did against Ethan Happ of Wisconsin.
And again, he infects the paint.
He does
such a presence.
Yeah, it's a great timing where he doesn't jump too early. He always just times it just right.
Tip under 6 minutes to go here in Bowling Green. And a 9-point Hilltoppers lead. Bearden steps back, launches the 3. And Hawthorne has his 7th rebound.
Hawthorne has really given the Blue Raiders some excellent minutes here tonight.
Sims at 10 in the first half, knocks in a three. Donovan Sims with 18. He's right on his average the last 4 games. An 11-point scorer has upped it the last 4. Foul away from the ball. It is on Reggie Scurry. That is his 3rd foul.
Yeah, Sims this year is shooting 37%. Watch how he gets all the way to the other side. Poor communication. Josh Anderson gets caught on that screen, and then his teammates knew it. Sims is pumped. Middle Tennessee hanging tough on the road.
A quick correction on Scurry. That is the 4th foul on Reggie Scurry. So he goes to the bench. Gamble is playing with 3 fouls as well. Hollingsworth leads in the lane. Hawthorne another rebound. Just 4 points, but 8 rebounds and 3 assists off the bench. Settles for the jumper. Hawthorne buries it. Back within 4.
Great to see. The kid was down. He was out. And he has been everywhere today for Middle Tennessee.
Bassey can hit the 3.
Wants to get to a jump hook here, Smith does.
Back to Bearden, 5. Hollingsworth thought he was fouled. Banks it in! Tavion Hollingsworth. He just stared down the official, but he knocked in a 3. And a clutch one at that. Sims can't answer. And we're inside of 4 minutes and a 7-point lead. Every possession crucial for the Blue Raiders. Johnson lost it on the way up. And he's fouled by Lamonte Bearden. That's the 2nd on Lamonte Bearden. And it'll put Middle Tennessee in the bonus.
Is this a foul here in your eyes? Because Hollingsworth was not happy. He ends up banging down the 3. But is this a foul when he initiates the contact? I thought it was a good no call by the ref.
I thought so too.
And watch, he goes right into Green.
I didn't think it was a foul. But I also thought that he's lucky that he didn't get a technical, because he was right in front of our position right here. And for a solid 2 seconds was staring at Ray Natilli. But they got a 7-point lead with 3:33 to go as we take a look at the Conference USA standings. Here on this Thursday night with a couple of games that have been completed. Now, North Texas lost by 10 to FAU after losing to Western Kentucky on Saturday. UTSA in a close one with Southern Miss. That game in Hattiesburg. So if things fall the right direction, Western Kentucky by the night's end, Tim, could be in 2nd place, a game behind Old Dominion.
And they played a wild game when they matched up with Old Dominion, a game that they led 21-0 in Virginia, lost that one. It was just kind of a microcosm of this season. I think we're going to look back on Hollingsworth's 3 as maybe the biggest play of the game.
We got free throws coming up for Middle Tennessee. We've had situations throughout this entire 2nd half where Western Kentucky's looked like one of the top 25 teams in the nation. Then they've had 4 or 5 minute stretches where they can't get good looks at the basket. They have defensive lapses. It's allowed Middle Tennessee to get back in this ballgame.
Well, it just seems like they're playing with a switch, right? It was an off switch in the first half. It was clearly on to start the 2nd half. But give Middle Tennessee and Nick McDevitt, who's in his first year, give them credit here on the road. Coming off a loss to Old Dominion, a game that was tied with 5 minutes left. Only had 9 turnovers against the Monarchs, but I think Nick McDevitt in year number 1, he's got these guys playing inspired ball. You go 2 months without winning a game, this could be some dark days.
Johnson with the 1-and-1 hits the first. That's a 56% free throw shooter with a clutch shot. Career high in rebounds for the freshman out of Buffalo. Not a huge scoring performance, but 8 rebounds tonight for Jace Johnson and hits a couple of big free throws. (11 of 13 at the charity stripe tonight for the Blue Raiders. Inside to Bassey, and he's fouled by Gamble. And that is the 4th on Carl Gamble, and a 1-and-1 coming up for Charles Bassey.
Bassey, an excellent free throw shooter at 76%. You could see out of the timeout, Mark Shue wanted to get his big man a touch. And Gamble's been working very tough, trying to make every catch difficult for Bassey. That one a little overzealous.
1-and-1 for the 6'11" freshman, a 75% free throw shooter. Sticks the first. Now 12.7 boards. Couple of blocks for Charles Bassey as well, who came into this ball game with 58 of them. Donovan Sims been the go-to guy tonight, 18 points. Antonio Green, right on cue, buries the 3.
Jarrett Savage got to do a better job of hedging out there. It gave too much space for the shooter, and we got ourselves a 1-possession game.
Inside of 3 minutes to play. Beard into the rack, swatted away by the sophomore Sims. Green for the tie, rolls it out. And again, there isn't a bad shot. Nick McDevitt said, hey, listen, if we practice it, he can shoot it.
Western Kentucky fortunate there. They got caught on that screen. That's a shot that Green normally makes. He made it on the last possession, just in and out on that one.
Hilltoppers, what was an 11-point lead. It's down to a 1-possession game. And it's down to 3 on the shot clock. Bearden in trouble. Anderson beats the horn, knocks it in. Now it's called a shot clock violation. And they'll go to the monitor to take a look at this.
Initial thought.
Shot clock violation.
I agree.
Yeah, I think he got it right. Now we will take a look at this. It's not inside of 2 minutes, but shot clock violations can be looked at any point throughout the game. I don't know.
See, I would look towards right up here when that light goes off.
It looks like it might be on his fingertips, but here's the problem. Is there inconclusive evidence to show that it wasn't, because the call on the floor was a shot clock violation? I think it's still on his fingertips.
That is oh so close.
You'd think the folks in the Bluegrass State have had enough of close calls here in the last 48 hours. They have reversed the call. Count the bucket. 3-pointer for Josh Anderson to beat the clock. But again, more importantly, this is why replay's in effect, to be able to get the call right. Some people love it, some people hate it, but that took less than a minute and a half.
And you and I were both wrong.
Yep. But we're okay with that. As long as they're right, it's okay. So back to a 6-point lead.
Do you need a 3 here?
The 2:05 to play, that's the question. Plenty of time. Don't think so. Scurry. Blocked by Bassey again. Blocked again. 4 blocks for the freshman.
I would get Green going here with some sort of screen.
He's going to go one-on-one with Anderson. Into the paint, lays it off the glass. Gets it himself. One more time. Reggie Scurry the follow. Down to 120. Anderson trying to drive on Johnson. Throws it out of bounds, but it was deflected off of Middle Tennessee with 3 on the shot clock.
We appreciate your comments here. Jeremy goes OMG. With 3 on the shot clock, it's going to be Hollingsworth. It's going to be the guy.
He's got to shoot it. That's off. Green's got 14. Sims got 18. Those are the go-to scores.
I would get Antonio Green in a ball screen situation here. Western Kentucky's had a hard time communicating.
Green gets it. Was not fouled. Lost the ball.
I think he got a foul. Extend the game.
Scurry can't be the one to foul. He's got 4. Now they blow the whistle. Is it on Scurry? No, they call it on Donovan Sims. That's just his first.
Antonio Green, he just pointed to his chest saying, my bad. He didn't think he got fouled. Ill-advised turnover there. I would have got him up top. He's been so good at turning the corner and making that defender either come out and guard him from 3 or getting all the way to the hole.
1-1 for Lamonte Bearden. 73% free throw shooter. Jared Savage back into the ball game. And here comes Carl Gamble, also with 4 fouls. Bearden hits them both. Timeout, Western Kentucky. 1 remaining for interim coach Mark Shue in a 6-point game in a building that they have not beaten their rivals since 2012. Middle Tennessee has won each of the last 3 trips here to Bowling Green, Kentucky. 2 schools separated by 100 miles. 137th all-time meeting in a series that Western Kentucky, frankly, has owned. But Middle has won 13 of the last 15. And, you know, how about the last time that Western Kentucky won over Middle here in this building? 7 years ago. T.J. Price led the way with 13 points. Regular season finale. Hilltoppers would go on to win what was at the time, they were both in the Sun Belt. They went on to win the Sun Belt tournament and then advanced to the NCAA tournament under Ray Harper, who had just taken over as coach in January. So that was a heck of a story 7 years ago. Ray Harper now at Jacksonville State. He had a good run here and a fun time in Bowling Green. Middle Tennessee basketball, you asked the question earlier, do they have to take a 3?
I believe now they do. And so you got to think it's going to be Sims or Green. Green has had a little bit of a streaky game. I think he's going to go back to that 3 he took when they were down 3 that went in and out. And no one has ever shot more 3s in the history of Middle Tennessee than what Antonio Green has shot this season.
Right, he has made 4 tonight. So 85 made 3s for Antonio Green on the season, which is tied the record for Middle Tennessee that was set last year by Giddy Potts.
I would get a screen with Carl Gamble and get Bassie out on the perimeter.
Green has it. Anderson all over him. Sims, contested 3. Loose ball. Green fires immediately. Off again. It's knocked out of Anderson's hands, but a foul. They got the players they wanted with the ball in their hands, but they were both contested shots. Interim coach Mark Shue is 21 seconds away from being 3-0 for taking over for Rick Stansberry, who's set to have back surgery tomorrow. 1-1. 3-possession game.
They've made their free throws. Bearden went to the line, made 2 big ones. Anderson, that's not really a strength in his game.
$17 for Josh Anderson. Shot clock turned off. They've got to go fast. Green hoist, misses. Savage the rebound. They won't foul. And the losing skid at home to Middle Tennessee is going to come to an end. Mark Shue does it again as the interim coach for Western Kentucky. Kentucky. 71-63, and the Hilltoppers have won 8 of their last 9 to move into second place in Conference USA with one more game to go before that bonus play set to kick off.
We have 5 straight wins for Western Kentucky. Mark Shue, undefeated, like you said. It was really the start of the second half. Lamonte Bearden finding shooters. They made a bunch of threes, playing with confidence, playing with energy. I think Middle Tennessee, first-year head coach Nick McDevitt has a lot to build on as his team showed a lot of fight and a lot of grit, even in a loss.
UTSA is down by 6 at Southern Miss, and since Western Kentucky beat the Roadrunners, they would hop them for second if, in fact, UTSA does lose to Southern Miss. 71-63 the final. Josh Anderson led the way with 17 for the Hilltoppers. It's an impressive performance. 8-point win. Jared Savage had a good game as well. He's with Melanie Collins.
He sure did, guys. A double-double for Jared Savage. Jared, you guys are down at the half. You come back in the second half and go on a 13-0 run. What was said at halftime? Because you look to have a whole different energy in the second half.
Oh, yeah. Coach got on us pretty good at halftime, but we needed it. We was playing with low energy, and we can't do that in a building like this. We got to get the building involved, and that's what we did the first few minutes of the second half.
16 points, 10 rebounds for you tonight. What allowed you to be so dialed in this game?
I got to credit all my teammates. Monte gave me the ball. I was just rebounding the ball. I was just trying to help us win.
Coach Shue, 3-0 in the interim as your coach. What can you say about the coaching job he did tonight?
Like I said earlier, Coach Shue is a great coach, and they've all stepped up big time when Stansbury's out.
Jared, congratulations.
Thank you.
First career double-double for the redshirt junior from right here in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Warren Central High School is just a couple of miles down the road. He had a big prep career there. Couple of years at Austin Peay, but this team is dangerous, Tim Doyle. Come Conference USA tournament time, and then, of course, if they can win it. Melanie's rattled. Lamonte Bearden, who had 8 assists tonight. Melanie?
Thank you, guys. I'm with Lamonte Bearden. Lamonte, no love lost on Valentine's Day between these two teams. How would you describe the intensity of this matchup between rivals?
It was real fun. I mean, we knew Middle was going to come out and be a great team, and they were going to bring the intensity. It was a real good, fun crowd and a good game. Coach
Shue said to me today that you specifically, the last 6 or 7 games, seem like a completely different person and player. The lights really turned on for you. What's been the biggest difference?
I know I got to be a leader out here with these little guys out here. They can lose focus easily, and I'm here to keep them on track. That's all, and they did a good job tonight.
Your team has not beaten Middle Tennessee State in this building since 2012. What was the key to finally beating them at home tonight?
Just matching their energy. We knew they were going to come out with a lot of energy, and we focused on matching their energy today, and we did, and I like that. We came out to win.
Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Guys?
All right, Melanie, thank you very much. Now the last 6 games, Lamonte Bearden is running his streak, Tim Doyle. 44 assists, 7 turnovers in a 6-game stretch.
Yeah, I thought he really set the tone there in the second half and then made his free throws down the stretch, and that's always going to be a storyline in college basketball. We've seen it time and time again. Teams go to the line, miss free throws. I feel like Western Kentucky is still just scratching the surface of how good they could be. We just see flashes from Anderson and Bassey. If they could put together a whole 40 minutes, I think they haven't yet played the perfect game. They could beat anybody on any given night.
Well, and you talked about this a couple of times throughout the game. They were preseason picked to win Conference USA. This is a team that beat Wisconsin. This is a team that went to Fayetteville and won at Arkansas. And nobody out of conference goes to Arkansas and beats the Razorbacks. They snapped a streak that was long, 28 straight. This is a team that's talented, and they're putting it together at the right time.
Yeah, I think a big question for them is going to be depth. Yeah. You know, because their starting 5 over the last 5 games have all been in double figures. What could they get off the bench? Omer banged down a shot today. Do they start to wear down? These are the dog days of the college basketball season as you start to look towards March. But you got to take care of business, especially in Conference USA, because being in that top 5 could only help you as far as seeding if you're able to get into the big dance.
Yeah, they're locked into at least the top 5. Now, where they're going to be, that's the question. We'll find out, but they are definitely locked into the top 5 with the 71-63 win over Middle Tennessee. Final stats, Blue Raiders had some good looks. It's a team that needs to get to 10 threes. That's been their magic number. They have not won a game this year when they haven't hit 10 threes. 8-18 on the season. 5-8 in Conference USA, but remember, they had a 13-game skid, so they are playing better.
Nick McDevitt leaves Bowling Green, Kentucky happy. Even though they did not win this game, this was a squad that lost 13 straight games. Middle Tennessee did not win a game for 2 months, and they just came on the road against arguably the best team in the league, and they gave them a fight for 39 minutes. So I think Nick McDevitt in year number 1, that team is starting to turn the corner, and I'll tell you this right now, no one in Conference USA wants to play middle as they're starting to hit their stride going into March.
All right, things we've learned tonight. America loves the Horowitz Proposal, and if you go unbeaten in conference play or win your conference by 4 regular season games, you get an automatic bid to the tournament. And 2, Conference USA's scheduling is going to be fun come Saturday night. Difficult, but fun.
It was fun, partner. Happy to see that Val Kilmer's lost a bunch of weight. That could only be a good thing for his acting career. As for Western Kentucky, amongst the most talented teams playing their best basketball, 5 straight wins for the Hilltoppers.
Happy Valentine's Day. You're the person I always want to spend Valentine's with. 71-63, Western Kentucky knocks off Middle Tennessee. Now for Tim Doyle, Melanie Collins, and our entire crew, I'm Jason Horowitz. Thanks for joining us. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network on Facebook Watch. Take care, folks.